it adds a little bit of extra spice to your fight this weekend?
Well, obviously the media love the Scotland v England, which is good. It's kind of football standard, you know, they love to do that. Probably a little bit more for me. I'm from a place called Stirling, Scotland. That's where the Battle of Bannockburn was held in 1314, and that's where I live. So there's a lot of businesses around my area called 1314, stuff like that. So, you know, it's kind of a historical moment. William Wallace was from that era, and obviously I'm Scottish through and through.
And being that you've got Jordan Vucenicem this weekend, English fighter on a good run of form before he headed into the UFC, had his debut and lost that first one. What did you make of him running through Cage Warriors, and how do you think he did in his debut?
Oh, he's an amazing fighter, let's be honest, and so am I. It's a great matchup, and I've just said before, you know, we're both in the UFC. We just need to make a name for ourselves, and I'm impressed with him, and I'm sure he's impressed with me. But I don't know if the media or whatever, I'm just getting the vibe that everybody thinks he's going to walk through me, and it's not going to be the case.
You had the fight last time out was a big win for you against Oki, bouncing back from the defeat last time, getting that first finish in the UFC. How much did that mean to you to actually not just get the win and bounce back, but to actually get that first finish in the octagon?
Yeah, it was good. I always thought I was going to get 50k. I always thought about it, and that time I didn't. And I never even thought it was going to be from a submission. I thought it was going to be from me banging someone out. So yeah, it was cool. It just shows you how much I've evolved since day one. I've been working endlessly for the last God knows how many years to try and get better at all assets of MMA. So
I know you got 2 kids at home. How much did that extra 50k help with the family and all that regard? And were they immediately trying to allocate themselves to it?
It's gone now. My missus spent it. No, it's been good, man. It's been good. You know, for the longest time, like, I'm a father before I'm a fighter. I need to make sure I'm a protector of my family. I will not ever let my kids be in the situation that I was in when I was younger. It won't happen. You know, I went hungry. I went, you know, through crazy stuff when I was younger. So I will provide for them, hail, rain or shine. So it was a endless battle to try and bring cash in through the door, and, you know, whoever gave me that bonus, whether it be Mike Maynard or Sean Shelby or Dana White, you know, I've still got to shake their hand for that.
And you're on a new contract with the UFC, right, as of the last fight. So how much has that been a boon to you as well?
Yeah, that's changed my life again. You know, it was all in a winner. You know, I made a good bit of money last year, especially just off that first fight. So more to come as well. But like, I'm not in this for money. Money's great, and I talk about like supplying for my family. But at the end of the day, I could work for DPD and I could end up supplying for my family. I fight for pride. I fight for the love of it. And it's made me into the character I want to be. You know, I'm going to be a superhero for my children.
And in terms of your training, obviously you're training at ATT a lot these days. I know you've had some help getting over there, well, initially making that connection with an OG of Scottish MMA, Rob Whiteford. Tell us about how instrumental and how influential he's been in your career.
Yeah, for sure. He's sitting right over there, and he's helped me out so much over the years. Like, you can't even fathom it. You know, I was very, very lucky. Like, one of the first ever times I watched him fight, I remember sitting in the crowd thinking, I want to be in there. And I remember we'd been training a little bit back and forth. He'd came in and done a couple of seminars, and I was pestering him to come in and train with me. And I was meant to be going to work one day, and he goes, "Hey Chris, do you want to do some sparring on Friday?" Brought me in, and then he broke my nose. So since then it's been a kind of a rivalry. We've been beating fuck out each other for God knows how many years.
Brilliant. Last one from me. This is I think it's your third fight at the O2, but the dynamic's slightly going to be different with the crowd this time. I guess most of the time the crowd would have been 100% behind you as a UK fighter fighting on UK soil. But given that you're a Scot fighting an English fighter, how different do you think the arena will be on fight night? And do you embrace potentially getting a few pelters from the crowd on the way if that happens?
Jesus, man, I fought in Mexico City. I thought I was going to get set on fire. Like, it was mental. Like, there was chips getting chucked on the ground, and there was fights in the crowd. So I don't think the English crowd is going to be like that. I remember walking into the chemist when I was in Mexico, and the guy had a fucking submachine gun. I was like, what the hell's going on here? But yeah, listen, it's just noise. I'm a professional athlete, and I'll deal with that in the moment. And let's be honest, the UK crowd will get behind me when I beat them. So, like, it just is what it is. You're just going to sometimes be the favourite, and sometimes you're going to be, you know, the underdog.
Great stuff. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, mate.
Chris down here. This pretty much marks the 2-year anniversary of you being in the UFC. How would you assess your journey so far?
Yeah, it was good. I think I'm 3-1, aren't I? 3-1. Yeah, so pretty good. I would have liked to have had more fights, just due to like I like moving forward, like going with the hype, rolling on. But Robert, he always tells me to slow down. He's like, you're in, man. He's like, take the time to prepare, take the time to enjoy the moment and journey. And like, you can't teach me how to fight anymore. I am the fighter, you know, and I'm just ready to rock.
And I know you're not the type to like sit back and smell the roses because you're still banging this part of your career. But do you ever think that you've come so far from like herding sheep all the way back in Sterling?
Yeah. I lost in Mexico, and I ended up having to go back to work. And I was a little bit butthurt. I was a bit like pissed off about that. And sometime I spoke to one of my sponsors, Robert Dempster, and he said, you would pay any sort of money or put any sort of time in to be in the position you are right now, so just try and kind of humble yourself and take it on the chin and move forward. And that was really good advice from someone who doesn't fight, and I did. And if you think about it, you know, I would pay any sort of money to be where I am right now. I used to lie down in the pillow at night and blow out candles and wish to be in the UFC, and that's where I am today.
And what are the goals for this year for you, fight-wise?
I've not even thought past Saturday. The only thing I've got coming up is my daughter's birthday, May 4th. But I'd like another fight or two. You know, Miami would be quite cool. I don't even know what date that is. It's maybe April, the end of April. Or maybe even fight under the undercard of like Dustin or something like that, you know, teammate of mine.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Chris, over here. You talked about Dustin. I wanted to start with your fight, but there's a lot of talks about Dustin quitting and it's being his last fight. How much of an inspiration has he been for you as a fighter training at ATT?
Firstly, Dustin won't quit. It's the wrong word. He'll maybe retire, but he won't quit. He's not quitting, that guy. But yeah, you know, what can Dustin do more in his career? The guy, like, super inspirational. You know, I've seen Dustin on TV for many, many years, and you know, my favourite fighters right now are Donald Cerrone, Justin Gaethje, and then when I met Dustin and kind of understood him as a person, he became in that now. You know, Dustin is one of my favourite fighters to watch, and also one of my favourite fighters all in. So, you know, it's great to see him. I think it would be great to see him fight another guy. I think he should fight maybe Nate Diaz, you know, something like a legend, you know, even like, you know, I don't know, fight Max Holloway again. I don't know, it's one of those things.
Great words. The question I have about Jordan is, they give you another highly rated prospect. Oki also a highly rated prospect. Where do you see the wins for you against a guy like Jordan?
So obviously Jordan's very well rounded. If anybody's not well rounded in the UFC, they're going to get beat. So, you know, I'm just going to go in there, trusting my coaches, trusting my training. I have done absolutely everything I possibly can. There is no stone left unturned with this. Like, I can't even think to you like, did I eat something or did I not do that training session? I rested, recovered, I trained well, I listened to my coaches. What more do you need? You cannot have any more confidence in that.
And last question for me, is there a chance we will see you jump the gilly?
Well, if the opportunity jumps in there, I will. And, you know, I will take anything. Head kick, right hand, left hook, you name it, it's there.
Thank you very much. Good luck this Saturday.
Thank you.
Chris, back here. Here.
Oh, got you.
Thank you. You're known for your very aggressive style when it comes to fighting in the octagon. What can the fans expect on Saturday night?
The exact same.
Okay.
Pressure, relentlessness, and the will to win.
And your opponent is a newcomer to the UFC. Do you see any gaps in his game?
there's flaws in everyone's game. No one's perfect in life and in fighting. So it's my job to capitalise on his movements. Sometimes, like, you know, a jab and a cross, you know, it can be picture perfect, but there's ways around the jab and a cross, the slip and a cross, you know, there's ways around these things. You know, he zigs, I'm going to zag, you know, it's one of those things, you know. So there's definitely holes in his game. He's very clean, he's a very, very good fighter, but I'm going to capitalise on every movement he makes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris back here.
Hi, mate.
Just going back to the first question there, you said, you know, it's almost offensive that people think that this guy's just going to run through me. Right now, the odds makers, I think they have you sitting as like a 3-1 underdog. I know a lot of fighters don't pay attention to things like that, but when you hear that, do you think, what are they seeing that I'm not? That they're disrespecting me to be a 3-1 underdog, or are you thinking, man, I'm going to make a lot of people money on Saturday?
Yeah, I'm going to make my friends a lot of money over this weekend. Everybody's been sending me, as you know, it's been crazy. And also, I just want to thank you for messaging me when I lost in Mexico. I really appreciate that message, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries, brother. And then between the two of you guys, I think you probably have more tattoos than everybody in this room combined. Is there any chance we throw like a cheeky tattoo bet on the line between the two of you? The loser has to get, you know, something that the other guy.
Oh God! If maybe we could do, I'll get the epidemic on my ass, and he can get the problem on his ass if he loses or something like that. Bit of fun.
Hi mate, it's kind of just an expansion of the first question he's just asked about the general disrespect you're feeling. Is that purely the odds makers who you're suggesting are saying he's going to run through you, or are you seeing fan chatter as well? And is it kind of developed a chip on your shoulder going into this one?
Yeah, I had that with Oki as well, and I also had that with Charlie Campbell and all that sort of stuff. It's fuel to the fire. You know, fans, you know, they're always going to say their shit. I get that every time. Even in the lower leagues, I was getting that just from like randoms. But yeah, it's just prove them wrong. You know, I've been doing it my whole career. Under those bright lights, I'm the man, and you know, I'm going to prove that on Saturday night. Perfect. Thank you, guys. Thanks.